Hello, my name is Victor, and I have just recently been given these three revelations for our times. These three revelations are for the times that we live in today, and it is the will of the Lord, whose Spirit has given these revelations to me, that these revelations should be known from the farthest, most remote areas of Africa to the halls of Whitehall, from the Kremlin to the White House, and to all points in between. That throughout the entire world, that every person should know these revelations, and therefore to be protected by them. For this knowledge is for the protection of all the people, so that we the people may never be lied to again. The first revelation is the test of intelligence. The test of intelligence is not a test of yours or mine's intelligence. No. Rather, it is for us that we should test each word spoken by anyone as for the source of the words. We are to consciously determine who is benefiting from these words that we are hearing, be it from your elected officials, your neighbors, or even the person standing right next to you right now, whoever that might be. We are to test if the origin of these words benefits a man or if it benefits the whole of the people. God's words are a benefit to the people. And no human prospers individually from them, but rather all of humanity prospers from them, as we are all God's children. And he speaks for our welfare and not the prosperity of any one person or group of persons. When a man is the source of the words, that man seeks to profit from them. And when God is the source of the words, God seeks us all to prosper and to be protected by them. This is the difference that we are all supposed to test for from now on. And armed with this awareness of truth, we can no longer be lied to by an individual seeking his own personal prosperity at our expense. The second revelation for our times is the revelation of the consistency of God's integrity. God never changes. And these still are the Bible days. When what God has done in the past, he is still doing today. God never changes. When God documents his desire that we all treat each other with kindness, love, and compassion, he means it. This never changes. When he documents that we are to love the stranger and the alien living amongst us, he means it. That he documents what kind of behavior he expects from us, this behavior is God's own same behavior. It's God's own behavior that is being documented in sacred text. Not one kind of behavior for us and something else for God. No. This is the consistency of God's own behavior, that He expects us to grow up and follow the same as Him. What human father wants his son to grow up different from him, to have radically different views and opinions from himself? Does God want to see His own children embracing radically different values from Himself, and thereby discrediting God's own integrity with their thoughts and their actions? Those who lack compassion for all humanity contradict God's own integrity. Those who worship money, personal values, or any earthly influence discredit and contradict God's integrity. And because of what is vile in God's sight is so common among men, that it is now time for us as a human species to recognize the consistency of God's integrity, and for each and every one of us to recognize these inconsistencies inside ourselves and to work to change them too. To work to correct all that is wrong inside ourselves as well. To work to remake ourselves back into alignment with God the Father's integrity as we were originally born. As none of us was born corrupted, but gained the knowledge of evil only through the values of this world. The third revelation for our times is the revelation of the one true religion. The word of the Lord spoke to me and said, "Men ask, which is the one true religion? This is wrong. Instead, they should ask, where is the one true God?" The Lord then showed me a vision of a destination and said, a destination has many roads which lead into it. The name of the road is not important. What is important is that the traveler should arrive inside the destination, consciously finding God's Holy Spirit in real time inside our souls is the destination. It is to find our way back home to the spiritual place from which we all came from originally. It is the completion of the journey to find God's Spirit and to never leave it again is to arrive inside the destination. These three revelations were all given to me to be retold in plain language, so that there would be no riddle to them and no need of further explanation or interpretation. It is God's desire that all three of these revelations be known throughout the world, even unto its furthest corners, so that we, God's children, can benefit from these protections. All three of these revelations protect us from lies, from being lied to. They are for the times that we live in right now. A gift of protection from God to us. Begin your testing of words with these revelations for our times. Apply the test of the first revelation right now, which instructs us to ask who is prospering by these words, who is benefiting from these words. Men speak for their own prosperity. God speaks to protect mankind from harm. These two things are not the same. This test is how you tell which intelligence is the source of the words you are now hearing. Where these words are actually coming from. Who is prospering? Is it a man or is it mankind? Test these words that you're hearing right now using God's second revelation for our times, the test of the consistency of God's own integrity. Are the words you're hearing now consistent with God's integrity? Where in the Bible do the words you are hearing now contradict with God's words already documented from ages long ago? God never changes. His values are the same today as they were from ages long ago. And these still are the Bible days. And how God behaved back then is still exactly how he behaves right now today. Are the words you hear from anyone consistent with God's values, or are they different? Beware the liars who preach values that contradict God's integrity, for these people are lying to you. Now test these words using the third revelation for our time. Do these words preach intolerance of another's religion? No. God himself is telling us to ignore what religion someone else practices. The name of the religion has nothing to do with us finding God for real inside our own soul. Be glad that people everywhere are seeking God for themselves, according to their own practices and customs. For anyone who truly seeks God's presence is not evil or a threat to anyone else. It's only the liars of our day who are evil and a threat to all. And these three revelations for our times will protect anyone who hears them and uses them and puts them into everyday practice. None of these three revelations is spoken to you in a riddle. No one needs to interpret them for you. They are meant for all our personal protection because of these days that we live in right now. And by understanding these three revelations and putting them into constant use, we are given the gift of protection so that we may never be lied to again by those who are living in contradiction to God's integrity. The world has been given a very great gift. Use it.